Hello everyone, so I'm back with another video. I got Necro versus Plansy. I know it's going to be a Chaos Turbo Mirror, and I will review from Necro's point of view. So he draws pretty good hand. You always like to see Dust Shoot Jar going first. So start off with Thunder Dragon, and I just set everything: MST, Dust Shoot Jar, and Night Assailant. Just what he does. Is there any benefit to discarding Thunder Dragon to get under Dust Shoot? The answer is no, because then Plansy can go like Heavy Storm, you chain Jar, and then you still have 4 cards. Plus you have MST to hit end phase Dust Shoot anyway. So just Dust Shoot right away. See a hand of Night Assailant, Breaker, Faith, Dust Shoot, Spy, and Upstart. I think you have to get rid of Breaker just because it's 50% to hit the MST, and if that happens, you won't be able to MST the Dust Shoot. Yeah, I think that's the play. Let's see what he chooses. He agrees. Plansy uses Upstart. Sets a monster in a back row. Just go and phase MST. Draw Upstart. So start here with Upstart. Into Knock. Before deciding what to do, just want to use Jar Greed, which draws Snatch. So you know the hand is what? Night Assailant, Faith. Well, Faith could be set. Yeah, play here is just flip Night Assailant, destroy the monster, tribute for Thunder Dragon, attack for 16. Yeah, that sounds good to me. And no reason to set a bluff. Okay, so we see another set monster and a back row. So the back row is definitely drawn this turn. Otherwise, you'd think that it would have been set along with Dust Shoot. So you expect the monster to be Night Assailant or Faith. More likely Faith to get the Upstart. I wonder if there's any. Well, let's go to main phase 1 first, see if there's any Dust Shoot. Looks like not. I wonder if there's any merits to just holding Knock here. Probably not, because you do expect Faith here, and banishing lights is going to be pretty good, just because Plansy will be drawing Chaos. And he'll have to draw Thunder Dragon before he can summon all the Chaos. So yeah, I'm just gonna knock. And then attack for 16. So when you see another spy here, now you know the hand is Knight Assailant Faith. So just go on and set the Dekoichi. Sets another monster. And this one is a very good chance of being the Faith. Start by flipping Dekoichi, which grabs Faith. I think BLS is a bit too much. Like, yeah, I could banish the light. I just don't think it's necessary at all to summon BLS here. Just keep like pressing the advantage, start and like set Faith main phase 2. Yeah. So I'm just gonna attack here with Dekoichi. If he set Knight Assailant, he set Knight Assailant. He decides to just go with the safe play of Thunder Dragon, which gets like over Tsukuyomi and makes Knight Assailant destroy Dekoichi. But I still would have attacked with Dekoichi because there's no way he sets Suk, and I don't care about Knight Assailant destroying Thunder Dragon. For 14, set Faith and end. Upstart. We still know just Knight Assailant. See a set monster. So you don't automatically assume Knight Assailant, but it can be. Other options include Sangan, Dekoichi. That's pretty much it. Sangan, Dekoichi. Does Faith just grab MST here? It does, because even if it's torrential, you still summon Tribe BLS for game. Yeah, there's actually just no card that could save Plansy from this, so you just flip Faith, grab MST. Which is what he does. Oh, what? There's no way you hold this for this many turns when you're so down and need answers. Huge mistake by Plansy. Yeah, just go BLS, banish, and tribute for Thunder Dragon. It's a nice looking hand for Necro. Draws Heavy Storm. So obviously, if Pot were to get solemned, that would kind of suck. Wouldn't be like the worst. You still have Deco Jar, but obviously, I'm not expecting Solemn here at all from Plansy. So I'm just gonna Pot always. Activate Upstart. Which draws Breaker. Okay, so now you have a decision between setting a monster or going for Breaker. So in general, people will like always keep themselves safe to turn 1 Breaker. The only thing that Breaker does hit is MST. Most good players will set MST turn 1 versus Turbo to try and unphase cards like Jar Greed and Dust Shoot. But overall, I think just going for a set like It could be set Deco or Spy. It's pretty hard to decide which one is better. You do have, even if it were to get knocked, you do have some good cards to play back. Like, you wouldn't be completely defenseless because you have Snatch and Regeki Breaker. And this does play a little better around Minecon, since we are post side. Not like amazingly better. Like, you'll be taking a lot of damage. Though the Spy might go in defense mode. Trying to think. If I go Breaker and it gets ringed, nah, there's no way you summon Breaker here. So it's just going to be Spy with Jar. If it's MST, it's MST. It would suck if it's MST, but it's more likely to be something else, like Ring or Jar. He decides to set the Regeki Break, which he's not planning to use the Regeki Break on the monster or anything. He just wants this here so that if Plansy has MST set, it's not 100% to hit the Jar, and same with like a discard trap with Serpent. So this is fine. It also makes it look a little more like you don't have heavy in hand. So it could potentially get Plansy to commit more. Possibly. Not necessarily guaranteed at all. Because Turbo isn't really... The Turbo mirrors, you don't really have to like just commit a bunch of backer like that without Solemns. Yeah, this is fine. Just to make the end phase like MST stuff, because you really want this Jar. Okay. So the first monster doesn't flip. So what monsters don't flip? So it could be Sinister. It's unlikely, but it's possible. Sangan is also one that might not flip because you don't expect Necro to be setting Night Assailant into a set monster. Dekoichi would have flipped. Spy usually flips, like almost all the time, but it is possible to keep Spy set. If it were Spy set and Plansy sets another monster here, it would probably be like Sangan or Serpent. Probably would not risk like a Spy and Dekoichi getting destroyed. What else can a set monster be? Yeah, it's just Sangan, Serpent, and really low chance of Spy. I guess there's like Tsukuyomi, but also really low chance of that. Okay, so let's see what happens in standby phase here. Looks like nothing. Okay. So how do you want to play this now? You could technically go like heavy, but Plansy will always have at least one chainable, which will be like a Regeki Break on this Spy, which would not be great. I think you start by just flipping the Spy and going from there. And you summon this the second spy in attack or defense mode. I guess the question is, do you want to be attacking this first monster? That could be saying Enter Serpent. And I think the answer is no. And I'm also not planning to summon Breaker this turn. So I'm not really worried about getting direct damage in. So I'm going to put this spy in defense mode here. He goes for attack mode. I mean, it's fine. So he's just going to go Jargrade now. Oh, so he's actually going to go for the heavy. And he's going to chain Ryeki Break, discarding Spy to target the new monster. Okay, if this was his plan, then attack mode Spy makes perfect sense. I think I would have still liked to have used Jar of Greed, just so I could have one more card to work with in making this decision. Like, it's very likely that I would draw my card and then still decide to make this heavy play. Like, you don't necessarily have to be going Chain Jar and Ryeki Break. You could just... yeah. It's going to be the same thing, most likely, anyway. So, okay. So Plansy chains Ryeki Break, discarding Mind Control, targeting Spy. So that's obviously just a terrible outcome for Plansy. So Necro just wants to change our Greed now. Yeah, I don't like this at all. Because if Plansy were to have, like, Solemn Set, there's a good chance he just uses it on this Ryeki Break, targeting Dekoichi. But if you change our Greed, there's less chance of Solemn being used. Like, I would probably still use Solemn in that spot, but Plansy might not. So yeah, I would definitely flip the Jar first. It also, like, it makes it so Plansy doesn't know what this other card is before deciding if he wants to chain his remaining back row. Okay, and now chain Jar. So the new card was MST. I don't think Plansy needed to set that MST, but okay. So actually, Necro setting these two cards potentially baited Plansy into setting the MST to give him an extra plus on Heavy Storm. So when you see Mind Control discarded, what is going through your head? Like, usually when you discard Mind Control, you either have, like, a knock or another Mind Control. But that doesn't make any sense to me, because knock would have been used last turn 100%. There's no way Plansy just holds knock there. And if there were two Mind Controls, I also feel like Plansy would use one of them. Like, maybe not always, but I feel like having two, you're like, it makes you more likely to just go after the turn one Spy or Dekoichi. So there could be another Mind Control, but I still feel like there isn't. Just based on how the game played out last turn. You still expect this set to be Sangan or Serpent. Like, I guess you have to attack. Do you ever just not attack? Probably not. Just take this monster off the field so you can begin doing damage next turn. So it goes for Serpent. Yeah, I would set Dekoichi. I know Necro decides to set Breaker in this spot because he's thinking more, there's no way you discard Mind Control without having another Mind Control, but I'm thinking he definitely would have used Mind Control or Knock last turn if he had a hand of Mind Control or double Mind Control or Knock Mind Control. So I'm setting Dekoichi, but I know he decides to set Breaker here. And yeah, Mirror Force is good. To protect yourself, like you don't know if he's citing Kaiku or what. Potential Dekoichi can get aggressive. So Plansy goes Storm on Mirror Force, and he does play Kaiku. Destroys the Spy, which banishes 2 spies. Okay. And ends turn. So you know one card is Serpent. I'm just snatching here. Snatch, flip up Breaker, set Dekoichi, attack for 34, banish these 2, and go from there. Plansy top decks Charity with Serpent in hand, so that's really nice. Discards Night Assailant Spy, so it takes the Spy back. Discards Thunder Dragon, so the hand is now Thunder Dragon, Spy, Serpent, and one more card. That one more card was Upstart, so still has one more unknown card. Sets a monster, very likely to be the Spy, trying to protect himself from big damage, and hoping that Necro just doesn't have, well, Night Assailant here, I guess. Necro draws Chaos Sorcerer, flip to Koichi, which gives MST. I'm thinking about whether you should attack into this possible spy, well, into this very likely spy. Let's see how that goes. You attack, he summons out a spy, likely stalls, and then you have the option to go Tribe at any point. But I feel like you won't be going Tribe for a while. Right? Because you're not going to just destroy Breaker and Kaiku without having a big push. Which could be Thunder Dragon, but Tribe, Deco, Sorcerer is still not enough for game anyway. I feel like you don't attack here. So then the question is, do you set MST or not? Well, if this set were to be Faith, He could go for Heavy Storm. Maybe you just attack just to make sure it's not Faith. No, I'm not attacking. I'd rather him flip Faith and still have to deal with this. I don't even know, actually. Yeah, this is a tough spot. Like, I could debate it for a really long time. So I'm just gonna continue here and decide no attack. And I will set MST to play around Snatch and cards that Plansy sets. He decides to attack just to make sure it's not Faith, basically. And sets the MST. Plansy sets a monster. You go for Upstart, which gets Faith. So you have the same situation here. Because now if it's Faith, what happens? If it's Faith, you get Heavy Stormed. I think you just have to attack just to force Plansy to choose a spell before seeing the rest of your turn. So yeah. Grabs Charity. So setting Faith is a little scary now. Just because if the Faith gets knocked, you lose your light. So you wouldn't have the Tribe, Faith, Sorcerer play anymore. And obviously Mindcon would just be game over. Yeah, it's a tough spot, but at the same time, how do you win the game without setting Faith? I'm not sure that you do. Yeah, I'm just gonna set Faith. Say fuck it, pretty much. Just what he decides as well. Charity, discards Serpent Thunder Dragon, summons Breaker, which destroys Snatch. Specials Chaos Sorcerer. That seems like a weird play. I guess he's putting the spies in attack mode with the Mirror Force Engrave. Okay, that makes sense if you're going to summon the Chaos Sorcerer anyway. Okay, so that's just bad then. The only reason to ever go main phase 1 Chaos Sorcerer like that is if you're going to summon it anyway. You're basically just trying to get more damage in with these spies. Yeah, this doesn't make any sense to me. Just... also this attack order... If the set monster's Faith, attacking with Kaiku first means you can't banish the Faith. So he's like playing around Night Assailant, but he's playing into Faith. And this situation is so much worse. So yeah, I think he should have gone Breaker, attack the set monster, and then Kaiku attack the Breaker. And yeah, Pot is the only option. You don't need Snatch when you have Tribe, 4 or 5 spellcasters. Set a back row, you have MST. Draw a Night Assailant. Start with Pot, which gives Thunder Dragon knock. Use Thunder Dragon. Summon Tribe. Pitch the Night Assailant. Grab Faith. Yeah, Plansy. This sorcerer was summoned for no reason. That was just a waste of a resource. And the spies didn't even get in for damage. So. Is there any reason to bluff this knock? Let's see. Actually, yes, there is. Breaker's gone, Heavy's gone, MST is gone. So there's literally no way that this knock can ever be destroyed. So you can't be punished. And it deters BLS from attacking for 44. So yeah, bluff knock is 100% mandatory here, which he does realize. Plansy draws Pot. What's Plansy's hand right now? It's Serpent and one Thunder Dragon, and I believe the rest are unknown. Draws into Duo. Which hits Thunder Dragon. Discard the other Thunder Dragon. And Chaos Sorcerer comes down. Still attacks. I wonder if Plansy had a plan here. Because Necro still has Ring in his deck. He still has potentially another Regeki Break. Even Book of Moon, potentially. You could book Sorcerer. Well, I guess Book of Moon doesn't matter because you can book your own... No, it would matter because you don't want to book your own tribe because then Plansy can just summon anything to attack it over. So I think Plansy makes a mistake here, but obviously I can't see his hand to see if he had some kind of backup plan to this. The Heavy Storm's gone, so Plansy is free to set however much he wants. Okay. Draw into Night Assailant. So only play here is Summon Chaos Sorcerer, Banish. And want to go for Defense Mode Chaos Sorcerer just to save 700 from a BLS. There is like a Zambira punish, but Plansy's definitely not siding with Zambira. Especially going first. Chooses to Torrential. And you know the hand is Serpent Thunder Dragon, so just go ahead and set that Faith. Ooh. So by setting Night Assailant, you're basically saying I mean, you're giving Plansy credit for setting Knock Mindcon here, because if he has Knock Mindcon, it must be the set back row. But it can also be top deck, so I just don't think that the Night Assailant does anything. It plays around like top deck Knock, top deck Mindcon, but let's say that doesn't happen, and Plansy just goes, I don't know, set Serpent or something, and now you on your turn you go set Faith anyway, and now there's just an even higher chance that they draw Knock Mindcon. I don't know. He's giving Plansy credit for basically setting the Knock Mindcon, and I'm not sure I would, but okay. Summons Tribe, attacks, destroy the tribe. But why does he summon tribe? Plansy knows about the faith. Why would you summon tribe to attack a faith? I feel like you should be sitting back there waiting for chaos, basically. But okay. Draw Minecon. Okay, so now you have to set faith. And as I said last turn, there's now an even higher chance that the next card is Knock or Minecon. Oh boy, I don't know what Plansy's doing. You cannot hold Jar Greed like this versus a potential faith that Necro had. Yeah, it's almost never correct to hold Jar Greed regardless, but in a spot where you actually need to draw Knock, or Mind Control, or BLS, or a discard trap, that's just a huge blunder. Goes for a set monster. From Necro's point of view, this could be a Sinister, potentially. But he's got everything now. He has the Faith, he has the Knock, he has another Dekoichi. So it's just gonna be Faith, grab, Pot. Where are the spies? All the spies are banished. So you don't need to use Knock before Pot. So just use Pot first. And draws 2 traps, which is really nice. Yeah, I'm just going to use Knock every single time here. And shoot a spy. Attack for 3. Set Deco, set the traps. Looks good to me. Yeah. He sets a monster. Draw another Minecon. Start by flipping Dekoichi, which gets Faith. Use Jar, which gets Sangan. Got 2 Minecons, so just activate one, which grabs Deco. Draw into Duo. Can't really use this because you know the hand is Serpent Thunder Dragon. So just attack for 17. Now it becomes... There's 11 cards left in Plansy's deck and 1 upstart, so really 10 cards in the deck. 10 cards. You assume that Plansy has another Mind Control somewhere. So 1 Mind Control, 2 Knock. So that's 3 out of 10, 30%. You don't really care that much if he draws Knock. That would be fine. How many Chaos does Necro still have? He still has Sorcerer and BLS. So yeah, I wouldn't care too much about the Faith being knocked. I would care about Mind Control though. So in the case of Mind Control, you're committed to using Regeki Break on the Faith, discarding Duo. So that's 1 in 10 for that to happen. And what happens if you set Sangan instead? I feel like Sangan doesn't really do much. So you just have to go for Faith. If it's Knock, you don't really care, and if it's Mind Control, you Regeki Break, discard Duo, target it. Yeah, that sounds good to me. He goes for the Duo, despite of knowing about Serpent, and Thunder Dragon. The thing is, I'm not scared of whatever the third card could be. Like, it hasn't been doing anything. It's definitely not BLS. It's not... If it's Snatch, you don't care. Yeah, I would have held this to discard for Regeki Break. He hits Serpent, Thunder Dragon, so waste of a card and life points. So Plansy just attacks the Faith. And just go Regeki Break back row here, right? I would imagine. Yeah. Just gonna Regeki Break back row, discard Sangyan. Yeah, discard Sangyan. It was Dust Shoot. Draw a Knock. Flip, take Pot again to try and get to the Chaos. Now, I don't think you can go Sook Faith because Plansy has a 3 and 9 of getting 2 knocks or 1 mind control, and that would mean that Dekoichi has to crash. So if Plansy got knock, Necro would have nothing. Though he does have still 2 chaos to draw. But I prefer just going Sook on the Dekoichi to draw a card now. Knock the set monster. And then just end with attacking for 300 and forcing Plansy to find something to attack this with. He decides to knock first just to see what it is. Oh. That's a mistake in my opinion. Maybe it's not. Let's think of other scenarios in which my play was bad. In my play, my play would actually straight up lose to BLS because that's 5,700 through Faith. Whereas this play, it doesn't really lose to anything. It doesn't lose to knock because Necro's still going to be able to draw his chaos for game eventually. Mind control would obviously be bad, but it doesn't necessarily lose. Plansy would have to find basically BLS to banish the Faith, otherwise Necro can Tsukuyomi it again. And if he did do that, Necro has mind control. So yeah, that was actually my mistake. This play is correct 100%. And no reason not to bluff. Try to deter BLS from going for big damage. And she sets a back row. Draw Charity. So I want the Charity first here. And the reason for that is I want to give myself the option of grabbing MST or Heavy. He decides to go Faith. Yeah, I don't think this was the proper ordering, because all this would play around is Solemn, but if he were to Solemn the Charity, you just flip Faith and win anyway. So I feel like Necro kind of rushed this play and didn't really think about that. Okay. Use Charity. And that's game. Very obvious how you do this. Alright, so he played basically perfectly the whole time. There was like a couple things I didn't agree with. And then this last turn he could have Charity first. Alright. Plansy. I saw some huge blunders, and that's without even seeing his cards, so if I did, you'd imagine I would have seen a lot more stuff. So, alright, thanks for watching the video.